I'm going to survive 100 days in Minecraft, except it's thunderstorming the whole time. Let's hope it goes better than my previous attempt, which ended with a charged creeper. I spawned in some plains. It was important to get tools and weapons before hostile mobs started spawning, so I ran to the next tree and punched it, mined some stone, and made tools. I immediately found some cows for steak, and soon ran into the first hostile mob. Conflicts would be dangerous, so I decided to keep moving. I looked into a cave, but there was a spider jockey. Then I found a safer cave and mined some iron, coal, and also copper to make lightning rods. There was a ruined portal, but it didn't have much, so I kept running until I spotted a village. I figured the villagers would get killed if I went there without any gear, so I looked for an open hill nearby to live at. I dug down and started smelting. I decided I want to live mostly on the surface, so I crafted some walls. I also had iron for a shield and chestplate. I set up the walls to claim some land, lit it up, and put a triangle of lightning rods around my base. I also made an addition to grow trees. The next morning, I started mining coal, and then decided to clear out everything below my wall. I mined all the way to the edge of the hill, and then went up to see if anything interesting was happening. I was privileged to observe the lightning rod in action. It works well. On day 2, I got in an argument with a skeleton that was looking through my window. I cut down a tree, and a zombie fell through a hole in the ceiling, so I patched that up. Then a baby zombie ran in through a window and got me way too low, so I covered everything up. I started replacing the dirt with stone walls. Another skeleton called me ugly, so I let him know how I felt. A creeper tried to steal my stuff again, but I was very careful and took it out without an explosion. The morning of day 4, I nearly had a wall around my entire property, so I started getting rid of the roof. That's when a phantom spawned. This was a problem. I can't sleep. If I sleep, the thunderstorm ends, ruining the video. I thought that merely having a bed might scare the phantom away, so I went to find sheep. That's not how it works, and the phantoms ignored the bed and attacked me. So I started constructing a building to stay safe. I gave it doors and a cobblestone roof. The food situation wasn't great, so I started planting wheat seeds. Up to this point, I only had a chest plate, so I made a staircase down to look for caves. I found a cave with an amethyst geode, and I got rid of some more dirt. Day 6, a wealthy skeleton tried to colonize my land, but did not succeed. I continued my staircase past the amethyst cave, and finally upgraded my tools to iron, and then my staircase ran into a ravine. Some phantoms returned and were confused by my ceiling. I mined some gold, because I wanted to be rich like that skeleton. I smelted the iron from mining, then I remembered that cats are the best strategy to keep phantoms away. I headed over to the village and got some fish along the way. When I got to the village, I immediately tamed a white cat. The village had a blacksmith, it was okay. I tried taming a black cat, but it ran away. And ran away. I gave up on that. I tried to rescue a villager stuck in water, but he didn't want to be saved. I tried taming the black cat again, when a gray cat appeared out of nowhere. I tamed the gray cat by sprinting full speed and throwing salmon at it. Content with 2 cats, I took them home and started the breeding. Then I started replacing my roof with glass. This turned out to be a mistake, because phantoms can spawn when the roof is transparent. On day 8, I ventured out and saw a cat that was stuck on a ledge in a ravine. Then I fell into a hole, and a bunch of mobs followed me in, and everything exploded. But the cat was still there, so I tamed it. I collected sand for my roof, and temporarily borrowed hay bales from the village. Upon returning home, I finished turning my roof into glass. I did more cat breeding. Do not put cats near beds, it's really annoying. I tried going back to the village without bringing any cats, but the phantoms overwhelmed me and I sprinted home. So I brought a cat with me, and multiple phantoms were circling overhead. I tamed one more cat in a cave, so I had 2 protecting me in the village at this point. On the morning of day 10, I tried leaving the village, but phantoms were getting me. The cats wouldn't follow me, and they just stood next to a house. There were so many phantoms above me. Seriously, pause the video, count how many phantoms you see, and comment. Eventually, I opened up a hole in the house and discovered that my cats were trying to get onto a lime green bed. Weird cats. Anyways, once I returned safely with my cats, I sorted out my chests and made a whole double chest of dirt since I had so much of it. I harvested the wheat from my farm. The next night, there were once again way too many phantoms. I was so annoyed by it that I read the wiki, and it turns out if you enter a bed but leave it before falling asleep, that's enough to convince the phantoms that I get a full 8 hours every night, but it doesn't reset the thunderstorm. So moving forward, phantoms would not be a problem. Day 12, I mined some more sand for glass and then found a cave attached to my ravine. It contained another amethyst geode. The cave had diamonds! And, also lapis. So right away, I made an enchanting table. The 4 obsidian from the blacksmith were perfect. I made full protection 1 iron armor and put it on. I saw a spider jockey. My landlord wouldn't do anything about it, so I took matters into my own hands. I enchanted my sword and pickaxe and put Prot 2 on some of the armor. Finally, I visited that original plains village I had seen and tamed a new cat. And another cat. Of course, I stole some hay bales. How could you not? And then I saw an orange cat. I figured I might as well go for a complete catalog, so I tamed this one too. Back at the base, I decided I want to make a nice lookout tower. So I did something I've never done before in Minecraft. I used a stone cutter, and I started making a tower. But my building proposal was not without its critics. I had to settle a public debate to get building permits. And so the tower went up. Day 15, the tower reached its full height. Then it was the first time I found an Enderman on my staircase. I decided to trap it in a boat. It worked perfectly. From now on, this hole with a boat would be my Enderman farm. I went back to caving and found some deep slate diamonds. A 7 vein, not bad. I constructed a lovely ladder to the top of my tower, and then came up with a brilliant idea. If I cover my base with slabs, no mobs will ever spawn there, ever. And smooth stone slabs are my favorite. But I unintelligently put the slabs on the top half instead of the bottom half of the blocks, so mobs could still spawn. I immediately corrected this mistake and put the slabs where they belong. I spent the rest of day 16 putting down more slabs and making things look nice. No more dirt or stone. Ignore the cobblestone walls. Day 17 was mostly chores. Put down more slabs, harvested wheat, and chucked the seeds into a composter. I found an axolotl and put more enchantments on my armor. I wasn't going to use my diamonds until I could get real enchantments, so I began an expedition to find leather and sugarcane. I found a new village and tamed a new cat. My sophisticated Enderman trap had worked again. On day 20, there was too much meowing in one spot, so I built a new structure to house my cats. It was a nice place, but most of them had no interest in going in. In fact, they actively avoided it. I added a top to my lookout tower and got a nice view of the property. I tried using the tower to get the sniper duel advancement, but the skeleton was too close. I expanded my yard to add a space-efficient sugarcane farm. I let the axolotl live there. I was about to add a roof to my tower when 3 phantoms ambushed me. My cats were too far away to hiss, so I defended myself like a man. On day 22, the only thing that happened was that a cat ran into my Enderman trap. Ugh. The next day I chopped down a big tree and used the wood to make a nice entrance to my land using doors. On day 24, I was determined to get a full enchanting setup. My sugarcane farm was doing well, but I would need another journey to obtain enough leather. I found some cows and then a village. They gave me some hay bales as a Christmas present, and then I saw something even better: books. As I approached a savannah village, an invisible spider jumped me. Can you believe that this spider went all the way to the nether, killed blazes, and stole netherwort to brew an invisibility potion? What a pro gamer. The village was interesting, but it mostly had hay bales and melons. And a new cat. I found a saddle and a chest. I really wanted to get a skeleton horse now, since lightning is the only way to do that. As I returned home from the long journey, I could see my lookout tower in the distance. A creeper showed up, and I discovered that my aim with a bow is not the best. On day 26, I had enough resources to craft 14 bookshelves, which was enough for now. I made a little house for my enchanting table and saw that I could get Smite 4 on a sword with 28 levels. I wanted that for a diamond sword. I chose the most dangerous option and fought hostile mobs in the desert for experience. I also added a carrot farm since golden carrots are way better than bread. I thought I had seen planks in a ravine near the Plains Village, which would mean a mine shaft, but it turned out to be a dirt path from the village. What a scam. While I was there, I decided to explore the cave system. I met another rich, snobby skeleton. I found a pair of diamonds and mined redstone for experience. I had to kick the cat out of the boat in order to reactivate the high-tech Enderman farm. And then I decided it was time to bring villagers to my base. I used the excessive amount of dirt I had to build a bridge to the desert village. An Enderman tried to sabotage it, so I told him to take a bath. During the night, a skeleton shot me off the bridge and I had to fight for my life. As I got closer to the village, I started making 2 high walls. On day 29, the bridge was complete. For the first time in forever, I had zombies trying to break down the oak doors. To prepare for villagers to visit, I risked my life shearing some sheep. I made a little house/prison cell with a bed and a fletching table, and the Enderman farm struck again. I met a villager and gave him a free ride to my base. Very generous of me. I obviously didn't think this plan through very well because the boat couldn't fit the whole way. After adjusting the wall, the boat could fit. Here is where I made my biggest blunder. The instant that I broke the boat, and accidentally damaged the villager ran straight out the dark oak doors. I completely forgot that could happen. I understood that he was mad at me, but it was not safe outside. I had to bring him back. I turned my back to fight a zombie and spider when the villager disappeared. I went to my lookout tower and saw nothing. I went back to where I saw him last, but had no luck. I then sprinted downstairs to the amethyst geode and crafted a spyglass. Still nothing. This villager was gone. Time to start over. There were a ton of zombies at the village, but I eventually got through. Hey, get out of my boat, nitwit. This time, I drove the villager straight into his house before letting him out. I earned an advancement I didn't know exist because the lightning rod protected the villager? Anyways, I turned him into a Fletcher and locked in trades of sticks and arrows. I had surpassed 28 levels some time ago, so I put Smite 4 on the diamond sword. I tested out the sword and one-hit a zombie with a crit. I was kidnapping a second villager when an Enderman stole a block. I replaced it with the first useless block I could find, a composter. I locked this new villager up to be a librarian, but he stayed as a farmer. Was it because I put that composter on the bridge? I sprinted all the way back to destroy it. And wow, these Endermen really like my staircase. I put some glass over the villager section of my base and crafted some golden carrot. Finally, the villager turned into a librarian and offered me Depth Strider 1 for 19 emeralds? No, I only want mending. And so we played the game. Curse of Vanishing? Multi-shot? Nothing. 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 Channeling? Nothing. Smite 5? Flame, Luck of the Sea 3, Protection 2, Flame again, nothing, nothing, infinity, and this kept going on until the villager went to sleep. And so I made it to day 33. Like usual, the Enderman farm worked well, and after a lot more breaking of the lectern, I got mending. 18 isn't bad, so I took it. I turned the Fletcher's alarm clock on, traded sticks for the last 2 emeralds, and took my first mending book. I put it onto the diamond sword, of course, and climbed up my tower to get a view of everything I had accomplished in the last 33 days.